Natural Resources Test. Please enter your name and your class period. Number 1. Geothermal energy is known as the natural heat of the earth. Which of the following statements about geothermal energy is false? A. Geothermal reservoirs are renewable energy sources but are limited by the location of hotspots. B. The earth has an abundance of geothermal reservoirs. C. It is used for heating and cooling homes and for electricity. D. Geothermal energy is only found deep in the earth's core. Number 2. Which is a possible disadvantage of using flowing water to produce electricity? A. Ecosystem damage and loss of land. B. Reduced carbon dioxide emission. C. Only suitable for industrial use. Or D. Creates reservoirs. Number 3. Which energy resource renews the slowest? A. Solar. B. Biomass. C. Natural gas. Or D. Hydropower. Number 4. Which is a problem with using wind turbines to produce energy? A. Wind turbines occupy a small area of land. B. Wind turbines produce a large amount of energy. C. Wind turbines create a large amount of pollution. Or D. Wind turbines are efficient only in certain areas. Number 5. If you lived alongside a fast-flowing river, which renewable energy source would be most favorable? A. Geothermal. B. Hydropower. C. Solar. Or D. Coal. Number 6. Which of the following is the most renewable resource? A. Mineral deposits. B. Natural gas. C. Hydropower. Or D. Coal. Number 7. Which is an example of a renewable energy resource? A. Biomass. B. Coal. C. Gas. Or D. Oil. Number 8. The use of fresh water from hydropower is mainly limited by A. The availability of rivers and topography of Earth. B. The amount of water on Earth. C. The number of turbines that can fit in a hydropower plant. Or D. The rate of global warming. Number 9. Which of the following is not true about greenhouse gases? A. Using petroleum as an energy source releases greenhouse gases. B. Burning coal does not release greenhouse gases. C. Greenhouse gases lead to global climate change. Or D. Carbon dioxide is the most common greenhouse gas. Number 10. Which energy resource has the lowest environmental risk? A. Biomass. B. Solar. C. Hydroelectric. Or D. Coal. Number 11. What makes biomass a less renewable energy source than solar energy? A. Biomass is heavier than energy from the sun. B. Biomass is limited by how fast and how much plants can grow. C. Biomass is more expensive than energy from the sun. Or D. Biomass is less expensive than energy from the sun. Number 12. Which energy resource is available everywhere and is inexhaustible, will never run out? A. Solar. B, coal, C, hydroelectric, or D, natural gas? 13. Which would least likely have an impact on global climate changes? A, producing energy using coal, B, producing energy using oil, C, producing energy using hydroelectric plants, or D, producing energy using natural gas? Number 14. Most of the energy in the United States come from A, oil and natural gas, B, coal and nuclear, C, solar and hydropower, or D, hydropower and oil? Number 15. The wise use of natural resources is called A, production, B, conservation, C, biomass, or D, restoration? Number 16. Which of the following is a major difference between a renewable and a non-renewable resource? A, renewable energy resources are good for the environment, and non-renewable energy resources are bad for the environment. B, non-renewable energy resources are good for the environment, and renewable energy resources are bad for the environment. C, renewable energy resources replenish themselves over time, and non-renewable energy sources do not replenish themselves over time. Or D, non-renewable energy resources replenish themselves over time, and renewable energy resources do not replenish themselves over time. Number 17. Nuclear power is the energy created from which element? A, helium, B, hydrogen, C, iron, or D, uranium? Number 18. What do coal power plants and nuclear power plants have in common? A, they both use renewable resources. B, they both require the heating of water to produce steam. C, they both involve burning substances to create smoke. Or D, they have nothing in common. They are completely different. Number 19. What is the main benefit of using fossil fuels as an energy source? A, they are relatively cheap and they burn easily. B, they do not produce any pollution and are good for the environment. C, they produce greenhouse gases. Or D, they are renewable, so we will never run out of them. 20. Which of the following releases carbon dioxide when it is used as an energy source? A, geothermal, B, nuclear, C, solar, or D, natural gas? This is the end of the natural resources test.